Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of A Separate Reality, Further Conversations with Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda, narrated by Luis Moreno.
Introduction. 10 years ago, I had the fortune of meeting a Yaqui Indian from northwestern Mexico. I call him Don Juan. In Spanish, don is an appellative used to denote respect. I made Don Juan's acquaintance under the most fortuitous circumstances. I was sitting with Bill, a friend of mine, in a bus depot in a border town in Arizona. We were very quiet. In the late afternoon, the summer heat seemed unbearable. Suddenly, he leaned over and tapped me on the shoulder. "There's the man I told you about," he said in a low voice. He nodded casually toward the entrance. An old man had just walked in. "What did you tell me about him?" I asked. "He's the Indian that knows about peyote, remember?" I remembered that Bill and I had once driven all day looking for the house of an eccentric Mexican Indian who lived in the area. We didn't find the man's house, and I had the feeling that the Indians whom we'd asked for directions had deliberately misled us. Bill had told me that the man was a yerbero, a person who gathers and sells medicinal herbs, and that he knew a great deal about the hallucinogenic cactus, peyote. He had also said that it would be worth my while to meet him. Bill was my guide in the Southwest while I was collecting information and specimens of medicinal plants used by the Indians of the area. Bill got up and went to greet the man. The Indian was of medium height. His hair was white and short, and grew a bit over his ears, accentuating the roundness of his head. He was very dark. The deep wrinkles on his face gave him the appearance of age, yet his body seemed to be strong and fit. I watched him for a moment. He moved around with a nimbleness that I would have thought impossible for an old man. Bill signaled me to join them. "He's a nice guy," Bill said to me, "but I can't understand him. His Spanish is weird, full of rural colloquialisms, I suppose." The old man looked at Bill and smiled, and Bill, who speaks only a few words of Spanish, made up an absurd phrase in that language. He looked at me as if asking whether he was making sense, but I didn't know what he had in mind. He then smiled shyly and walked away. The old man looked at me and began laughing. I explained to him that my friend sometimes forgot that he didn't speak Spanish. "I think he also forgot to introduce us," I said, and I told him my name. "And I am Juan Matus, at your service," he said. We shook hands and remained quiet for some time. I broke the silence and told him about my enterprise. I told him that I was looking for any kind of information on plants, especially peyote. I talked compulsively for a long time, and although I was almost totally ignorant on the subject, I said I knew a great deal about peyote. I thought that if I boasted about my knowledge, he would become interested in talking to me. But he didn't say anything. He listened patiently. Then he nodded slowly and peered at me. His eyes seemed to shine with a light of their own. I avoided his gaze. I felt embarrassed. I had the certainty that at that moment he knew I was talking nonsense. "Come to my house sometime," he finally said, taking his eyes away from me. "Perhaps we could talk there with more ease." I didn't know what else to say. I felt uneasy. After a while, Bill came back into the room. He recognized my discomfort and didn't say a word. We sat in tight silence for some time. Then the old man got up. His bus had come. He said goodbye. "It didn't go too well, did it?" Bill asked. "No." "Did you ask him about plants?"
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.